Welcome back to the channel, everyone. After spending over 200 nights in hotels last year, and now spending some time back in the US to recharge, I'm taking a moment to kind of reflect on the different loyalty statuses that I've obtained, including hotels and airlines. And today's video is all about hotel brands and the loyalty statuses that I've earned over the past 1 year, and my strategy going forward for 2025. My strategy is based on the destinations that I like to travel to and what hotel brands are available in those destinations. Beginning in order, I started off with Marriott. And to kind of recap that, I have both Marriott cards from American Express. I have the Marriott Brilliant card and I have the Business Marriott card as well. So that gives me 40 Elite Night credits to start off the year. Each year in the springtime, roughly, there's been a 2-for-1 special on Elite Night credits for paid nights only. So I wanted to look for the best way to take advantage of that, and I did so by making a reservation in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia for roughly 15 or 16 nights to get to my 75 night total at around $75 per night. So that was a very cheap way to get to the 75 nights in total with only one reservation and get that early in the year. And I did so at a very nice 4.5-star hotel that was the Hotel Stripes in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. It has a rooftop pool, scenic views, full 9 yards, amazing value hotel for the price point. So what are the upsides with Marriott? The first one is they have very good points redemptions in certain places that I like at certain hotels that I like. First one being in Pattaya, Thailand, the Courtyard Marriott. Very nice rooftop pool with scenic views, ocean views. I like that sort of thing. And it's a newer style hotel. Also, Phuket, Thailand, the 4 Points there is one of the best hotels that I've ever been to. Most amazing breakfast, 16,000 points per night on average whenever I go there. Because my newly acquired Titatnium Elite status, I get discounts on food and beverage whenever I go to these hotels. So that helps reduce my costs along the way whenever I decide to stay inside the hotel. So I do get occasional upgrades. However, I don't put too much value on that because I typically only get a nice views, maybe a king bed instead of 2 doubles, that sort of thing. But still, upgrades are upgrades. What are the downsides with Marriott? The first one is kind of what I mentioned before with the points redemptions being available only in certain areas. When they are available, they're really good. However, they're kind of few and far in between. Rehashing upgrades. In recent years, a lot of the hotel brands are not giving away suites the way they used to when I used to work in hotels. Nowadays, you're lucky to just get an upgraded view or king bed, maybe junior suites instead of 1-bedroom suites, that sort of thing. And that's the same with Marriott. A major downside for me is the upgrade awards. Both at 50 nights and 75 nights, you have the option of selecting upgrade awards as your milestone kind of redemption. I find those very difficult to use. You have to kind of request it in advance, but you can only do so, I think, 14 days in advance, and you don't normally get it. It's almost less than 50% chance, in my opinion. And you don't even really get to select the top tier rooms. You're lucky if you can even select a 1-bedroom suite. It's usually only the corner junior suites, that sort of thing. And it's just not great, in my opinion. 5 nights awards at the 50-night mark for the year, you have to find individual nights to use those. So if you have a 3-night reservation, you could try to use it for that, but it's not guaranteed and the upgrades are not that great. So what is my final take on Marriott and my strategy going forward? At the very least, I'm probably getting rid of the Marriott Business card this year to free up that card slot for another American Express card. The 15-night credits that I'm getting for that card to start off the year, I don't necessarily need it anymore because I travel so much. I can take advantage of things like the 2-for-1 Elite Night credits on paid nights in the springtime. That's probably going to happen again soon. So that kind of makes up for getting the Elite Night credits from the Marriott Business card. So if I am able to attain either the 50-night mark threshold or 75-night mark threshold for this year, I will probably not be selecting the upgrade awards as my choice benefit anymore. Those award credits are so difficult to actually redeem. As part of my overall strategy, I'm probably going to be shifting a little bit away from Marriott and only using Marriott when it's the best value and makes the most sense, I'm not going to go out of my way to stay in Marriott anymore. Because I travel so much, again, I'll probably hit the certain thresholds anyway without actually going out of my way to stay in Marriott, and just use it when it makes the most sense. Next up is IHG. After a couple of weeks in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, I moved on to one of my favorite destinations now, which is Pattaya, Thailand. And I stayed roughly 45 nights there in all 3 different IHG hotels there. But most of those nights were in the Holiday Inn Express on Soi Buakhao. This time I actually selected to pay for those nights because it was roughly $40 per night for Holiday Inn Express. Great value, you know what you're getting. It wasn't the greatest hotel, but it was a great way to earn my status with IHG. And prior to making that reservation, I applied for the Premier card, the Premier Business card. The IHG Premier card gets 3x on every purchase, so it's a great catch-all card, and 5x on every travel purchase, which is great for my long-term travel strategy. If you're interested in that card, see the link in the description and use my referral link to support the channel. So what's my first positive takeaway with IHG? The IHG Premier card is a great points earning card to then get room redemptions with IHG. Now that I'm up to Diamond Elite status, I get 26x on paid nights with that hotel, along with the catch-all category that I mentioned before for my business. Also, there's plenty of IHG hotel options everywhere. The award calendars are almost wide open in most cases. The next major positive for me from IHG is the dining credits. Every 10 nights after the first 20, you get the option of selecting a choice award. And I like to select the dining credits because you can select 5 dining credits worth $20 each. That is a great value for dining at the hotels, especially the higher end hotels that have more expensive food options, but you can take advantage of that and get it for free in most cases. What are the downsides with IHG? The first one is the comp upgrades on longer reservations are really hard to come by. So if you're just booking a standard room and you're booking for 20 nights, let's say, don't expect to get a suite upgrade. You're much better off dividing that stay up into 4 or 5 night increments. Use your upgrade awards if you have them, but don't expect a significant upgrade. So IHG is very strict on the 40 night threshold in earning the lounge pass, which is required to use any executive lounge. So let's say you have platinum status through the IHG Premier card, you're not getting lounge access until you actually stay 40 nights. You could even get diamond status by spending $40,000 on the IHG Premier card. You're still not getting lounge access until you actually stay the full 40 nights. So just keep that in mind. Don't expect to get lounge access early. Even if you get an upgrade to a lounge access room, like I did 2 times, you most likely will not get lounge access because it is up to the hotel's discretion. The final hotel brand that I'm going to talk about today is Hyatt, and this is the most revered status and constantly talked about on YouTube by different vloggers. This is probably the hardest status to earn because there's not as many Hyatt brand hotels around the world, especially in the places I like to go to. They're kind of few and far in between. They start at about $5K, and that's not like a lower end hotel like you would see in the US. This is a Hyatt Place or Hyatt House hotel, for example, in Bangkok, Thailand, rooftop pool, nice views. That's something I could see myself using in the future as kind of a bridge like I did with IHG to then get my lounge access and build my status from there. Every 10 nights after the first 20, I believe it is, you get choice awards similar to IHG, but it goes all the way up to the 150 night threshold versus with IHG, it only goes up to 100 nights. So after that point, you stay 10 more nights, you don't get anything else. And with Marriott, it's even less than that. I believe it's 75 nights where you get your last choice award. So my final take with Hyatt and my strategy going forward is I'm going to focus on Hyatt Globalist status this year. That's going to be my kind of number one priority to get. And the reason is, with me staying so many nights in hotels, this year will probably be over 300 nights, it makes sense to still get awards as I'm going along my journey. So that will be priority number one. And then number two would be IHG to fill the gaps. And obviously there's great redemptions there as well. So wherever it makes sense, I will have that in my number two slot. Then number three, Marriott. And that will only be in certain use cases like the 4 Points in Phuket, Thailand, or one of my favorites, the Courtyard Marriott in Pattaya, wherever the point redemptions make sense and it makes sense for my planned travel at the time. Going forward in the future, it may be easier for me to maintain my American Airlines status by matching my globalist status from Hyatt to American Airlines, because in the past 2 years, they've done a reciprocal status match, and I'm kind of hedging my bet that that might be the best option versus trying to earn it just with American Airlines, if that makes sense. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more content like this, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and if you want to support the channel even more, use one of my referral links in the description. Let's all earn the top tier statuses this year in 2025. We'll see you in the next video.